Hey guys, it's Levia Gates and welcome back to Detalks. I've got Mr. Dylan von Kleist.
Thank you, sir.
Rupes polishers here, and man, this is so much fun having you. I've had so much fun talking with you.
This has been a long time coming. I'm super excited we got to do this.
Me too. This is great. So the subject I wanted to broach was when Rupes came out, it kind of changed and revolutionized a lot of processes. So I was always a rotary guy. That's all I ever used. And 3 and 4 stage cars all day long. And first time I saw the Rupes and saw what it could do, and I had a Porter cable and I was using that as a short throw machine, and I was like, okay, I could see for finishing.
Yeah.
But then learning about the machine, seeing that it was going to be coming, saw that when it first debuted at SEMA, was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Seeing what it could do and go, I can correct with this.
Yeah.
I can finish with this.
Yeah.
And I can maybe even do it in 2 steps.
The holy grail of detailing, right?
Yeah, all of a sudden it was like, oh, this may make my life easier.
Yeah.
And then I got my machine and it did.
Yeah.
And then I started buying every other machine as each new model was coming to the US. I made sure we got the first one in the state. I made sure.
I need one of those and one of those
I'll
and
take
one of
one of
those.
these, take one of these. And it did. It made my shop easier. We were able to be faster, more productive, and make more money in the shop.
Yeah. And that's it in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
That's the game. You always want to be more efficient. And
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I obviously I've only been with the company now for coming up on 2 years, and they've been in the U.S. for about 5 or 6. And I remember when it came in too, because it was just kind of one of those like, what do you mean 21 millimeters?
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling when you think about that, and you put a percentage on it for people. You go, it's 250%, give or take, the orbit size of what everybody was using in orbital tools. A Porter cable is 8 millimeters. If we're going metric for everything, 250%. If you do 250% of anything, is a lot more of whatever that thing is, and you go, wow, that's a lot of movement. And it's virtually changed how guys polish. I mean, there's very few things that have entered into the detailing world that have completely like flipped it on its head.
Right.
Microfiber comes along and that changes how everybody wipes things down,
Right.
and then they get introduced as pads, and I think that's a big tipping point too. And microfiber pads are introduced, but those events are few and far between,
Right.
and they're a relatively short history. And so when I saw the tool the first time, it blew my mind too. It was just like I couldn't even quite wrap my head around what was happening. And the more I thought about it, like, okay, well, we're talking distance traveled, pad, point of velocity, and all these things. Wow, it's amazing, and it still doesn't. Porter cable would shake. It was a wrist killer, just shake your joints to death, and it's only doing this little tiny orbit. This thing's doing that much more, and it's smooth, and it doesn't hurt me to use it.
And it's light.
It's light, and it's easy, and it's something that almost anybody can pick up. And once you're taught the basics of the technique, almost anybody can do it. It's not a hard thing to learn to use. I don't know if you've seen, and there's been a lot of stuff recently online, but we're actually introducing additional movements into the system.
Yep.
So we premiered them in Bologna, Italy, at a show called Auto Promotech. It's kind of the not quite SEMA size, but it's a good size show for Europe. And we were over there for the debut, but we were actually introducing full new systems, a rotary system.
Yep.
So, and it'll become a part of the Bigfoot family. Originally, Bigfoot was because of the large orbit.
Yeah.
It's now kind of evolved into this thing that's going to include now rotary and a full system with purpose-built compounds that are designed to work with rotary action, pads designed for rotary action. And then the one that everybody's getting really excited about is the Melee, which is Italian for 1000, but it's a gear-driven polisher. So it's got a forced rotation action orbital in it. And that also accompanied by pads that were specifically designed to support that movement and maximize that movement, compounds that have specific lubricating systems and abrasives that work with that movement. So the Bigfoot, as much as it was a large orbit thing, has now evolved, and now we like to consider ourselves an authority on all things tool movement now.
Right.
Because we're not just out there saying, hey, large orbit is awesome. We can solve a solution or provide a solution for somebody who likes a gear-driven movement. Because there are guys that just prefer that style of tool. We now have that, and ours spins the right way, which freaks a lot of people out after so long of spinning the wrong way. But it's cool because I think because we're designing systems, not just a tool and saying, hey, go find a pad in a compound and figure it out yourself, we're actually taking a look at what that movement does and how it impacts the foam or the type of pad that's on there, how it impacts the abrasives, what kind of lubrication system you need to maximize it. And so Rupes is a solutions company, not just a tool manufacturer. We want to build a system that solves a problem.
And it's very friendly because you've got color coding for pads and polishes and compounds and
trying to make it as simple as we possibly can. So for those that are just learning, it's very easy to learn, but if you've got a high skill level, then you can elevate the performance of it based on techniques and things. And a little known fact is actually that Rupes pioneered the electric gear driven movement. They had a tool that did that a long time ago. Again, short history here in the US, we're largely unaware of it. So it's like everybody's considering that, oh my gosh, this is this new thing. Technically, we've been doing it for a while. We just hadn't put it into this package and shipped it to the US. So we'll start seeing those tools hitting the market very soon. I keep getting messages like, when's the Melee coming? I want to try one. I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy, I'm not going to tell you here on this video either when it's coming. A couple months ago,
I asked you, can I get a Rotary? And you were like, you're not here yet. I wish I had one.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I get one, you can have one. But we hope to have them by SEMA, probably sooner. But it'll be interesting because now we can provide a solution to somebody regardless of what their preference is. And being perfectly honest, I mean, Bigfoot does everything extremely well. It cuts well, it finishes well, it's easy to use, low vibration. But there are situations where other types of movement are beneficial. I mean, Rotary is the #1 consumed type of polisher in the world. There's more Rotary tools out there than anything. And there are situations where it makes sense. I mean, like you said, you use Rotary really heavily in your business, and in the hands of a guy who knows what he's doing, Rotary is an amazing tool. It's not the one shot, like magic bullet, can't solve all problems. No more than Bigfoot or no more than Melee can. Each tool has its sweet spot where it's going to exist and do something specific.
Just like a guy in a normal toolbox, you've got to have a crescent wrench, you've got to have a screwdriver, you've got to have 2 different types of screwdrivers, you got to have Allen wrenches, you got to have...
hammer doesn't solve everything.
You can't just use the one.
Hit it with a bigger hammer.
And then there's like the innovations like the iBrid, where you have the ability to change the head out and make it Rotary or make it a long throw,
and that's
or DA, I should say, on that.
12 millimeter, 3 millimeter, or Rotary. So I mean, pick your poison. The only thing it doesn't do is gear-driven movement, and I say that now, but there's probably one of our engineers in Italy right now is going, I could do this, and then next SEMA we'll have it, and I'll be, well, I shouldn't have ran my mouth. Like, apparently you can't do that.
Which is, but it is nice once when in my shop I had Rotaries, we had old school Makitas because they just ran forever. I like the DeWalt's, but the Makitas just lasted a lot longer in my experience. And then we did the 21. Then we got another 21. Then we got a 15. Then I got the little 12, the 312, the
Duetto and the Mini.
The Duetto and the Mini, and then we got the iBrid. And it was nice to finally have a complete line. One, we did a lot of classics and antiques. And those have so many little curves that, that 6-inch 21 doesn't always fit where it needs to. But having all of a sudden an assortment, and we could go through the whole car and we could get every single bit of correction done, made it so much easier. And then I looked at it and was like, dang it, for the last 15 years, I literally only had...
Trying to jam a pad
into
Rotary,
places. I'm trying to get this pad to move the right way. I'm trying to get this wool to feather. And man, my life was so much easier. The day went by, and it was way more fun because it was fun to break out the new tool.
And it's a big shift, I think, really in the industry as a whole, because everybody was for a very long time. You're kind of a one-tool guy. Maybe you had a porter cable and a Rotary, or but you pretty much used that tool for 90% of the work, and you didn't think about getting compact polishers for this and that. And so we're honestly teaching it, but also it's just a kind of natural progression of the industry as guys are starting to realize, well, I had to invest in a second tool to do this very specific task, but instead of trying to jam this big one in somewhere, it's just easier to go pick up the small one, get it in there easily, get it done far more effectively, get better results. And it's, again, going back to that efficiency thing where, reducing steps. Don't, jam a Rotary in there and really, really hologram the snot out of it. And then, okay, well, now that I fixed the scratch, I got to try and figure out a way to really polish that finally. It's a hard thing to do.
But if you have a long time.
Exactly. But if you have a tool that fits in there and can cut and finish in one step, ta-da, that tool pays for itself in terms of efficiency so quickly. So I was guilty of it. I mean, I was a one tool guy. I was just like, if it didn't fit,
I couldn't polish it.
I couldn't polish it. I was just, oh, game over. I guess I don't get to polish that part of the car. Now it's like, I've got tools in every shape and size. I can go, oh, I could polish that, polish that, polish that. I can get under there and polish that. Things that probably don't even need to be polished, I am polishing, So.
Well, we did a engine bay on a 510, a little Datsun 510 that a guy brought in, and he wanted us to polish and go through all the metal, get it all shined up, and then also his whole firewall, his fender wells, and everything. And this is a show car 510. I mean, it's got the Charlie Hutton paint job on it, and it's a nice little 510.
Charlie's a big fan of the Bigfoot system.
I know. So we were able to use the hybrid, and it was like we were able to actually take that job where he said, I really don't need anything done on the outside. I just need the engine bay done because it was never finished.
Yeah.
So we were able to wet sand the engine bay, polish it out, and get it up to snuff with the rest of the car.
We live in magical times, don't we?
Yeah, it was like, man, Matt and I were looking at each other going like, imagine we would have done this with an old Rotary with a 7-inch wool pad.
Yeah, and then reaching
like
in there and hand rubbing every little crevice.
Our fingers to get in there, and my fingers are shot.
Yeah.
So it made it was nice and it was fun, and that's one of the things that I like about it is you're able to bring some joy back into your everyday work.
Yeah.
And you're not beating yourself up anymore.
Yeah.
You're not slinging a 20-pound Rotary.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
All day and getting your buffing muscles.
Yeah, the strong shoulders for the lateral movement, right? Yeah. No, it's an interesting time to be in the business. It's an interesting company to be a part of. I really do enjoy what we do because the forward thinking and the kind of the progressive thinking of the company is just, it's fascinating to me. If I was not working for the company, I'd be using these tools. Yeah. But I'm fortunate enough to have found a position with the company. And
now you get to do that.
And now I get to do it, and I get to be kind of behind the scenes and see it. But I as a former detailer and now a guy who works on the supply side, it's the stuff I would have loved to have seen as a guy who was doing details. And it's amazing to be a part of kind of this process of bringing these things to market and changing how these guys are doing what they do. I mean, hopefully making them more profitable. That's ultimately the end game, right? We want everybody to be efficient and make money detailing.
Yeah. That's what we're all about. Got to make that money. So thanks, Steve, for coming. I appreciate it, man.
Hey,
so much fun. And you can check out the entire product line at rupes.com, and then hit them up on Facebook. You can check out Rupes on Facebook. Follow them. They got events all over the country. That way you can keep tabs on them. You can stay tuned for more videos right here on the Rag Company YouTube channel. If you got any questions or comments, put them below. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.